What's up YouTube, it's your boy ChasmRift here, and today I'm going to be reviewing a match. This is a match that one of our familiar faces on this channel, Nitemare JP, has sent me. I'm just going to be looking over the replay. So basically, this is how it's going to go down. I'm going to be basically looking at the teams. I'm going to be breaking down what I think they're going to do, predict, and then we're going to grade the plays that we see on both sides. The reason I'm doing this again is, well, there ain't much to do. On top of that, you know, one of the things that players will tell you in just any game really would be that if you want to improve, the best thing to do is to always look back at your old footage, look at old replays, and see what you did well, what you didn't do well. If you lost, see what you could do to learn from your mistakes. If you won, see where you could have optimized your plays, made a little bit better reads if you made any mistakes, things of that nature. So to encourage people to do that, I just wanted to watch people's footage, whether they win or lose, give them my feedback on things, and maybe they'll see something from a unique perspective, because sometimes, hey, that second opinion or third opinion may actually lead to something great for somebody to, you know, capitalize on with their future teams. So here's the replay. Nitemare is playing somebody named Kande22. So let's look at the team starting off right now before I press play. Looking at Nitemare's team, objectively speaking, I already been talking with him. I know how his team likes to function. He likes to rely on G-Max Lapras to set up the screens with Auroraville as his win condition. So he likes to do that. He also has pretty good support there. You got Togekiss that can use Follow Me, potentially. He has a Togedemaru, which can be very disruptive. He has an Incineroar, which also could be very disruptive. On the opponent's side, you know, the biggest wild card I see is their Galarian Weezing. Like, it's a big wild card because some people either just bring it just to scare opponents who have Pokemon that are dependent on their abilities. Some people actually bring in their Galarian Weezing to actually be a member of the team. So it's always a wild card to see. But if I have to be honest, Nitemare's team seems pretty weak to fire types. It just doesn't seem to have enough coverage to handle it besides the Lapras. So if I was the opponent, I'd probably predict them to lead. I think the honest prediction would be they'll probably lead Ninetales into Venusaur. If they don't lead that, the only other thing I could think of would possibly be bring Grimmsnarl in and try to get some paralysis. But I don't think they want to risk that with the Lightning Rod Togedemaru being on the opposing team. And from the opponent's side, you know, they don't have much good coverage to deal with the Lapras if the Lapras gets set up. As well as, you know, Incineroar is a really good strong mon against them, especially Rotom as well. They can both handle the Venusaur well if they prevent any shenanigans. So if you ask me, I think the safest lead would be for Nitemare would be Lapras and Incineroar, while the opponent's side would probably be Ninetales, Venusaur. So let's just go in and see if I'm right. Oh, so it's Togekiss, Togedemaru. Okay. Lucario, Grimmsnarl. Okay, so you protect. We see a fake out from Togedemaru. They switch into Ninetales because of the eject button. Okay, that's not anything too unusual. So they did bring the Ninetales, which I predicted they would. And then Togekiss with the Heat Wave. Overall, I think this turn's pretty good for Nitemare. You know, I don't have to sit here and talk too much about it. His both Pokemon could potentially get nice strong damage on the Lucario, especially with Dynamax that turn. And then Togedemaru disrupted the Grimmsnarl. So overheat on Ninetales is actually pretty surprising. And it switches out with... Huh? Wow, there's a lot that went on. So I think the winner of this turn is definitely the opponent. They got the heat wave, they got the overheat off, brought Togedemaru to the Sash. You know, Lucario was able to get a max steel spike to put Togekiss at just under half, and got a defense boost going up for the Grimmsnarl, which had to come in. I think Nitemare's play was not bad at all. You know, it was the right play to go for. You know, hitting off the Nuzzle to try to disrupt this Lucario, because we both knew that the Lucario was going to be Dynamaxing. Of course, this is my first time watching the video for context. Okay, pretty bare bones there. There's nothing to really talk about. But now it's Incineroar, Dragapult. I'm surprised he didn't bring the Lapras. Really am. I guess the Lucario trick Grimmsnarl. Oh god. And the Dragon Dart. Okay, the opponent is playing that really well. I think it's questionable to go for the Dragon Darts to that play if you ask me. I think honestly I would just double down until Lucario, because Grimmsnarl is a fairy type. The Max Knuckle comes in. Pretty smart. We got two physical attackers on Nitemare's side. So things are looking up. He has Incineroar set up. He has Dragapult sitting at a nice and powerful +2. And that was questionable by the opponent to go for. I think honestly they should have sleep powdered the Dragapult. I think that's the bigger threat out of the two. There it is. They get the sleep powder off again. The reason I said that is because there was no guarantee they were going to live anything, especially if this Dragapult was like acrobatics, or you know, if it used really any move. So that was pretty much the match right there. There was some plays I felt like we didn't need to really talk about because, hey, you know, just standard plays. My big takeaway from this was, you know, it's interesting to see that, you know, Incineroar is being Dynamax because not too many people are using it as a Dynamax mon. He's just there as a poor man Scrafty when it comes to being a support mon. I do like to see the Dragon Darts be used as tech. That was cool. Coming in, being very strong and effective, especially when it came down to single targets. The only takeaway I have as like a criticism for this match, which isn't really a criticism, is just the Dragon Darts for being used. And I feel like Dragapult, unless I could be wrong, unless the Dragapult, can I see on here? It was Life Orb. Okay, I was gonna say if it was choice, then it was forced into Dragon Darts. Then never mind. I guess seeing that it's Life Orb, should have paid attention during the battle. You could have used other moves. Dragapult has a pretty good variety of moves, really good coverage. Hell, even using Phantom Force would have been a good way to like disrupt the opponent and potentially stop setup. So that's the only thing I really got to say. On the opponent's side, though, I think they dropped the ball many times in the battle. You know, I feel like they were very hyper offensive and aggressive. You can tell by just the overheat on the Ninetales, as opposed to like a Heat Wave or Flamethrower variant, or hell, even Fire Blast. I think they honestly could have played a little bit cleaner if they were willing to potentially switch out their Dynamax Lucario, or make the right adjustments around the opponent. Like if they used Sleep Powder on Dragapult, they could have potentially left Incineroar sitting here with nothing much to do. Sure, it's gonna go for a Max Flare into Venusaur, but I don't think Venusaur is your win condition at this point. Can't really damage both Pokemon effectively, especially in that one-turn scenario. So that's all I gotta say. Overall, pretty solid battle. If I had to give it a grade, I think I'll give it about a B+. Could have been played a little bit better on both sides. I just think that Nightmare's opponent fumbled the bag a little bit harder because Nightmare just made the right adjustments to keep himself in the game. So that was it. Like I said, guys, send me your replays. I'll be sure to probably try to zoom in. Yeah, we should have done this. I'll be sure to zoom in for future matches. Send me the replays, and yeah, that's pretty much going to be it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to send replays down below. If you got any tips and feedback, I guess, go for it. We're not here to bury people if they make a mistake, or we're not here to just blindly praise people either. But yeah, pretty much it. Alright, bye.